Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're covering another DC and Batman movie titled Batman Hush.
Yes, now, just in time for Spooktober, this film shows that a mysterious new villain named Hush is using Gotham's Rogues Gallery to destroy Batman from the shadows. Surprised you didn't say roll credits.
Right?
Hush is the only villain that knows Batman is Bruce Wayne.
Dun dun dun! And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and notification for some future podcasts and go to pause videos.
Yes. This one was not what I expected it to be. It was something really, really different.
Yes. And I was really interested because of the plot line. We know how it is with Batman keeping his identity secret, only the Justice League and certain other people knowing. Well, in here, one of the villains, one of the worst things that could possibly happen is that a villain knows he's Bruce Wayne. And the thing this time is that you don't know that the villain knows he's Bruce Wayne until you get further along.
Or you read the description on the case, or you read the description on IMDb, and they spoil it for you.
Right. So, yeah, okay, don't read what it's about, and you'll probably be okay. And when someone that's taken as close to him as Bruce Wayne, that's when it hits you that this person knows his secret identity, so he's not safe as either alter ego.
Now, unlike the movie, two things we're gonna let you know: there's not gonna be a spoiler for who Hush is, because that would ruin it for you. And number two, we won't tell you how the movie ends. That way, there'll be some surprise left for you. Because if we do that, you might as well not watch it.
Right.
Because part of it is you know the villain is Hush, but you don't know who Hush is.
Right.
And we're gonna leave it at that.
Right. So the base of the movie is that it's different villains from Gotham keep attacking Bruce, and sometimes they attack Batman, and you don't know why.
Like a Scott Pilgrim versus the world is Batman versus the world.
Right. And for here, you find out that Hush is blackmailing all these villains or tricking them into going after Batman. And all of them are actually scared of Hush, or they're being framed, or they're being blackmailed. And at first you're thinking, oh, okay, they're just working with him. Like, no, they don't want to work with him. He also knows their weaknesses or their alter egos, and it actually makes him more of a threat because he can take anyone down because he's knowing all who these people are. So they kind of figure they have no choice but to work with him, or else it's going to be the end of their lives.
And of course, this is the way Batman always works. So you've got a villain that operates exactly the way Batman does, knowing the weaknesses, knowing how to defeat the enemies, knowing how to use the environment and surroundings and things to his benefit, except for he doesn't blackmail or threaten people. Other than that, it's the same way that he operates.
Especially with one of the villains that you just kind of know is like, okay, it's this person. We know.
Well, you can say it's Joker.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing that's the real big surprise. It's not Joker. We can tell you that.
Yes. And we kept thinking, oh, Joker's always behind everything. And then the other time he said, believe it or not, I'm innocent this time. I never thought that would come out of my mouth. And it's like, yeah, the only time in history where Joker did not commit a crime.
So, this movie is really intense. It is very high in violence. It really is.
Yeah, more so than other Batman stories. And it's a little ironic because two things interesting happened when we were going to watch the movie. One, this aired on a Saturday night in place of an anime night for Toonami, and they had a Batman night for Batman Day, so they showed Hush and another Batman film back to back. And they didn't even edit anything out. They just told you warning of the content. Like, the one time you can edit things out, you don't. And then the second thing would be the way that this movie... There was a lot of radar in this movie.
Yes.
Like, a lot of radar. I mean, they don't really show anything, but a lot of suggestive dialogue and things that you know lead up to things in the movie without being graphic or anything. It's just like, wow, there's a lot of this in this movie, more so than any other animated Batman movie that we've seen.
And that's why it was suitable for Toonami or Adult Swim, because this cannot be on during regular primetime hours anywhere.
Because they actually have Batman and Catwoman form a relationship finally in here, and it's a long period of time, And what's a little ironic is that they showed that, but there's other things they couldn't show, and it's like, but you showed this, you could say this, and there's like a ton of dialogue in here. It's like they actually got away with saying that, and it's like stuff that you know can only be on DVD. And then on top of that, that same week this was coming out on Twitter, the people were discussing what was the darkest Batman movie, and it wasn't this one. It was Batman versus Robin, which we've covered,
and definitely not as dark as this one.
Yeah, so
the only thing I think they're probably disturbed by is Damian being the badass and taking people out or beating them.
Right.
And I think they gave that title for that reason. And no, it's definitely not the most violent. Hush is more violent.
Right. And ironically, Damian does appear in here with more dialogue.
A version of Damian.
Right. With more dialogue he shouldn't be saying as a 12 or 13-year-old.
So, yeah, this movie has, like some other Batman movies we cover, such as The Long Halloween, this movie has a very, very good plot twist.
Yes.
This movie is worth watching just for the plot twist in the end, because you're going to go, oh my gosh, I didn't think it was this person. How the heck? So it's worth watching simply for the plot twist. Now, don't go and buy it or rent it somewhere and then go to the end just to see who did it.
Right, that just ruined it.
Right, what it builds up to. And seeing the appearance of not only Bat family members and Gotham villains and other people, because there are a lot of cameos in this movie.
Yeah.
There are a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we count up to almost over 10 characters appearing here from both sides. It's almost like a gala of Gotham of everybody who just showed up, made cameos and stuff. Like, we're watching The Simpsons, there's a guest star every 5 minutes.
Now, there's a different person doing Batman this time. It's not Roger Craig Smith, it's not Kevin Conroy, it's not Bruce Greenwood, and it's definitely not Jensen Ackles, and it's not, it's one more person who's done Batman.
I think it was Jason O'Mara at one point.
That's who did this.
Yeah, okay, right. That's the one
that's
now.
That's who does it now. And you couldn't place it, like, we know the voice, we can't place it. So yeah, he's taking up the Batman cowl once again for this particular movie.
Yes. And this was definitely a very interesting movie. Would you recommend watching more than once at a time? Probably not, because it can be a lot of energy. I mean, they put that thing on like near midnight when it came on TV in our time zone. So I wouldn't recommend watching it late at night, because it's really lots of action. If you plan on going to sleep, don't watch it before you go to sleep. You'll probably just be up and down the whole time watching this movie.
Now, I'd like to point out, for this is one of the changes, I would say, that's indicative of DC animated movies now. Before, you had these animated movies that were action and storylines and preventing something from happening or helping a character to have growth and so forth. And they were the type of movies you could watch over and over. But in these new movies like Hush and The Long Halloween, once you find out the end and whom the villain is, you don't want to see it anymore.
Yeah.
It's not something that you would sit and watch over and over because it was great and there was action and storyline and all that, and this is in here. But the way that this is written, it's almost written like it's a one-time movie, which is really unfortunate, because part of the thrill of watching DC animated movies in the past is being their viewability over and over and over, because the action is so great, the storyline and the characters and the voice actors and everything was just so exciting that you didn't mind watching it 3, 4, 5 times. But Hush is not something I would watch again, because once you find out whom the culprit is in the end and you've seen all the cameos and things, there's nothing giving you incentive to want to watch it again.
Unfortunately.
And the same thing, unfortunately, with The Long Halloween. Once we see part 2, that'll probably be the end of watching it. And I miss that about the DC animated movies, making them where they're so good, you want to watch them over and over and over. The last movie I would say that was like that was Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
That's the last one that you want to watch it over and over, because there's a story and an unfolding, and they're solving a crime together, and there's no giant plot twist that once that happens, it's not really watchable again.
Yeah.
And that's one of the, I would say, negatives or cons for watching Hush. Once you watch it, you're done. So I would say be cautious of spending your money to buy Hush for that reason. We got to see it, as Rascal said, free on Toonami. If you can rent it through streaming service and maybe pay $4 like on Prime, I would recommend doing that because you may not want to see it again once the story unfolds and you see the end.
Yeah, and as you said, for these DC movies, they're made so differently now, and I think the last thing to add for the terms of the action and violence, I think that happened after they tried to do that New 52 thing, and then they revamped it like twice, is that when they wanted to do an extended DC animated universe, but they already had the Bruce Timm one, they could have just done that. They wanted it to be for more older audiences. So to make sure kids didn't see it, they put in as much violence and blood as they could get away with in animated form. So when people just like could get cut at the drop of a hat, that was why. And for a lot of people, it was just like, you really didn't need to do that. You could have just made a darker story and just say, recommend it for older audiences, don't have kids see it. But here they think that putting in more violence automatically will make it cooler and edgier and more teens will want to see it. Well, to me, teens were already watching it, adults were already watching it, and better yet, kids could watch it. But now you've lost a part of our audience because most parents are not going to let the kids see this unless they just kind of let them see what they want because it's animated.
Absolutely. So if you've seen Batman Hush, let us know what you think in the comments below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let us know. We're interested in hearing your thoughts. And if you haven't seen it and you weren't able to see it free like we did on Toonami, it's available to purchase on Amazon as well as to stream for $3.99. So again, go ahead and give it a try. We recommend streaming, not buying. There are other DC animated movies that are better to be invested in that you can watch over and over and really enjoy.
Yes, and if you haven't already, subscribe for updates and weekly videos on your favorite anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate you. Feel free to share this on Community tab or anywhere you share with your friends and family, and we will love to support you in return. If you want us to check out your channel, just tell us the name in the comments below. Better yet, leave a link so that we can click them directly, check it out, and give you a follow as well.
Yes. So, thanks so much for watching Muscular Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.